I think that's what's bothering me right now, and that's why it's hitting me so hard. Because I'm almost disappointed in myself. You know what I mean? Like I've always tried to build myself as bulletproof as possible. You know what I mean? So, like we said, like with the whole adversity thing and everything, like you make yourself adaptable to any situation.
Cause they thought I'd never make it. See me fall down and they celebrate it. Learn how to win with no demonstration. How about the cool got up?
Ready to get it started. Go.
I don't know. Well, Young M.A. came out with it afterwards, right? Her freestyle. So.
You can't even download it. I tried to download it on Apple and you can't.
Nah, it's on there.
On Apple?
Yeah, I got it, bro.
Send me the link, son. Drop that link.
You know what I'm saying?
I was not playing it up. I was hold on. It was.
I got it right here. It's called Beatbox. Oh, they took it off.
I'm telling you, I just listened to it like 2 days ago.
No, look, I have it in my songs.
Oh.
They just took it off. This song is not currently available in your country or region. What?
Yeah, they said the same shit when I tried to click on it.
What country am I in right now?
Come on, Young man. I understand hard times, COVID and all that, but coño.
Nah, bro, it's literally on. I had this shit.
But can you play it?
No, it won't let me play it. But this is in my songs, like my library.
Damn. Let me see if this is this one. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay.
So what the fuck?
Huh? Yeah. But it came up under Beatbox Freestyle featuring Young man.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
Bueno.
I don't know. Did my SIM chip get fucking switched for someone in Bangladesh?
Let me add to that. Shazam tracks. I gotta get some playlists better. Like some.
Bro, you know what I've been listening to a lot lately? I don't know why. No. Actually, that's pretty bad. Luis Miguel.
You saw there's a documentary on Netflix. I was about to start it.
Nah, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
on the second season.
They played the song the other day. I was like, if I touch the song, that's pretty fire.
I thought, you know what I think about when I hear this nigga? Yeah. No way,
Wow.
Like, that's automatic. I think about my grandmother in her rocking chair watching novelas, like from fucking 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 o'clock at night.
You're just sitting there
like, fuck, I can't get out of here because I gotta finish my food and I should beat the shit out of me.
Yo, did your parents ever make you like stay at the table?
My parents, no, my grandmother did.
My mom and both my parents, like, I would fall asleep at the table like almost every night because they were like, yo, you're gonna finish your food, you're not getting up.
You know
I would literally fall asleep every single night at the table.
You know what they make me do, which makes no logical sense. Like, this is low key like child endangerment or some shit. Like, I couldn't drink anything until I finished my food. I'm like, how does that make any logical sense? De que no bebe tu soda, no bebe jugo hasta que tú no termines. I'll be like,
yeah,
but I gotta.
Because I think like the concept of it was like if you drink too much, you're gonna get full.
Yeah, which I get that. But what I'm saying is like at the dinner table, it's like you have your, big ass thing of juice, which back then was fucking Tampico, but we had no bread.
Oh,
that was sugary. It's either that or Kool-Aid on a good week.
No, we used to drink a lot of Tampico or Tang.
Tang was before the whole Lipton came into play. So
Tang, and then like before that was Nesquik.
Chocolate milk?
Nah, like the Nesquik powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we used to drink the strawberry one.
I drank it in the mornings.
I used to drink it at night as for it was like a treat if I was good.
I was gonna say, like, you get dessert or like, alright, you got some.
Tú estás portando bien, toma tu Nesquik. It's not Nesquik, it's Nesquik.
I can't wait till we have that episode of just slang, Dominican slang, made up words and all that shit. That's gonna be one hell of a fun ass episode.
We have to drink Brugada later
on.
I have one at the crib.
I gotta make it. I gotta go buy some red wine.
Mine's been brewing.
I mean, not red wine. I have the shit already.
Mine's been brewing for like almost 2 years.
Oh, that's solid already. I don't even wait that long. I wait like 3 weeks.
Nah, I haven't drank. I mean, what am I doing?
So, ladies and gentlemen,
episode 13 with it.
With it. You mean what you gonna use?
Yeah, it's like, yo, we here.
Yeah.
Like, we here. Anywho, episode 13, guys. Thank you for tuning in live from Cafe Religious Studios. We got your boy Berto, your boy Will, ready to talk about live and direct.
Episode 13, man, 13.
If you're a real one, if you understand that joke that we
you're a real one.
You're a real one.
You really.
You be killing them. So tonight, man, we're gonna talk about something that's been bothering the both of us. Affecting. I guess, yeah, it's definitely affecting. It was affecting you a few weeks back. You know,
then I came with the crossover and I said, yo.
And then you threw me the alley-oop, and now I can't even dunk it because I'm stuck in the air. I'm stuck on the rim.
Stuck on the ground.
No, my arm got stuck in the rim, and I'm stuck in the net. Yeah. My whole shoulder's in the rim right now. So it's something that I've been low key going through internally. I've only told a select few of people that what's going on, but.
So let it out, my brother's prolific podcast. Yeah. We let everything out. We leave everything on the table.
Yeah, I just, we figured to talk about this. I know obviously I'm not the only person with anxiety. So we hope that this episode can kind of build some clarity for other people. Maybe other people have advice, you know what I mean? Even for us, who's saying that, neither one of us are gurus or anything like that. So
we're just going through the motions and figuring it out.
I think for me, which is something else I want to talk to you about later, actually wrote it down, about that saying. But for me, like, I'm so hard on myself when it comes to anxiety because it's like, I always look at myself and my ego and just everything. It's like, bro, like, you know better. You know what I mean? Like, you know better, and you're allowing this anxiety to take over you. It's like, you have so much to be thankful for. You're blessed with so much shit, and yet you're bitching and moaning about anxiety. Like, I feel like anxiety is like a predominantly US thing. Like, you don't see people in fucking Africa or something. Like, obviously there's different, rebels and shit coming into your city and killing everybody, but like, you don't see people suffering from anxiety in other countries as much as in the US. So I feel like we're very spoiled, and that's, as stupid as this may sound, like, I feel like me being like allowing this anxiety to take over me, like, it's a spoiled mentality for some reason. I don't know why I think like that.
I agree with you 1,000%. Just talking about what you said. I think living in the U.S. naturally causes that, because we're naturally, always looking for something better, and we forget to appreciate where we're at. I think we spoke about this yesterday, as far as like, sometimes we have to take a step back and just be like, yo, look at where we're at. It doesn't matter what we're wearing, what we're living, like, the fact, for one, that we're still here, things like that. Like, we have our legs, we have our arms, we have our brain, we can walk, talk, eat, go to the gym, play sports. Like, that's already, like, things like that you gotta be grateful for, right? But being in the US, and I agree, because you go to DR right now, you go to Nicaragua, you go to Colombia, some crazy, first of all, let's stop and just address that. You heard about what's going on in Colombia.
Yeah, I heard. I've honestly, sadly and disrespectfully, haven't really like looked too much into it. But I've been seeing like, obviously, like the protests and stuff like that, and like what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know I'm not gonna lie and say I know.
Yeah, me neither. I came aware of this morning because I have a wedding coming up in Colombia. So I was hitting my boy Marvin, and I was like, yo, like, is everything okay there? Because we going there in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's the whole thing with Corona, and they were protesting and all that stuff, but like, now they're just taking innocent lives on the protesters. So
that's crazy.
Hearts with them, man.
My cousin's actually out there right now. I actually forgot all about that.
Yeah, so just check up on anybody you might have out there. If you have any family members there, we send our wishes and condolences if anybody unfortunately has passed. But yeah, like, it's look at what people are fighting for in other countries, and look at what the shit that we're fighting for.
Exactly.
Which builds, but
yeah, it's been building for honestly 3 weeks now, and I think what bothers me is because usually, after I started like the journey of like spirituality, when I really started it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I've gotten a very good grasp on my anxiety, because I used to have really bad anxiety, like my entire life since as a kid.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, it's been like, it got out of hand a little bit, but then I started to get control, and I started reading, I started doing all this other shit, doing the ayahuasca, like doing stuff like that to kind of like start like getting my mind right, you know what I mean? So I've usually been able to kind of transition out of it fairly quickly ever since I started that journey. But this shit, like, I have no idea, bro. Like, this shit is literally like super glue.
It's
Like,
the funk, man.
I got the monkey on my back, yo.
And that's the tricky part about anxiety, because us as adults now, I think we could both agree that anxiety, like we all know anxiety, it's not something physical, you know? It could deteriorate us, right? But we all know, like, okay, what is causing anxiety? Majority of the times we say we don't know, but we really do know. It's just a lot of things are happening subconsciously.
Yeah.
And as adults, we know, okay, anxiety, you know, I'm not having a heart attack. It's a panic attack. I just gotta breathe. You know, like, you kind of walk yourself through it, but I also understand, coming from this shit a couple weeks ago, where it's like, sometimes you just really feel stuck. Even though you might know the answer, you feel stuck, man. Like,
yeah, like you just can't figure it out.
Like you can't figure it out.
And it's like you have like a fucking math equation, it's like 1 + 1, you're like, I don't know the answer.
And let me tell you, like, 3 weeks might not sound a lot, but I think that's a hell of a lot of time.
What?
That's a hell of a I think when I went through my funk, like literally a month or two ago, it was right after my birthday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
During my birthday, I was already going through the funk. I was ready to cancel the party. Like, I don't even tell anybody that, but the day of, I promise you, I was ready to cancel the party. But 3 weeks is a lot, bro, because remember, you're the only person that's in your mind. You're the one that has to go to, like, you have to go to bed every night thinking about the shit that you're already thinking about all day. So 3 weeks is a hell of a time.
3 weeks in my own head, just.
What do you feel that you're doing now, since you know that you took the time, you know, before to kind of build yourself and, you know, really work on yourself to master your mindset? How do you feel that you're going to approach it now that you're a little older, a little wiser, but you're still getting affected by it now?
I think that's what's bothering me right now, and that's why it's hitting me so hard. Because I'm almost disappointed in myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've always tried to build myself as bulletproof as possible. You know what I mean? So, like we said, like with the whole adversity thing and everything, like, you make yourself adaptable to any situation.
Yeah.
And I'm not adapting. You know what I mean? And I don't want to adapt to it. I think that's maybe a problem too. Like, I'm not trying to adapt to fucking being this stressed out and having anxiety over stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? And the fact that I almost had a panic attack, you know, at home, and to the point where I was afraid to go to sleep. Because I was like, bro, I can't even breathe right now. So if I go to sleep, what is gonna happen? Like, am I gonna wake up? Like, all this other shit. Like, even talking about it right now, like, I'm starting to get like
because it triggers it.
Oh,
so even discussing it. So for the people that are listening in, if they've never felt anxiety, what would you say is what's the feeling that you get, especially at night when you're about to go to bed? Because I think usually that's when it happens. I don't know, at least to me.
Well, yeah, because like, you're just sitting to yourself, and it's not like you don't have any other distractions. Like, you're not, you know, talking to somebody, or you're at work or something like that. You're thinking about other things. But when you're home, laying in your bed, it's like, okay, now it's just me and my thoughts.
You in your fucking head.
Yeah. So you're just like, oh, okay, now I have to fucking deal with this shit. So to be, I don't know, I guess to go off of my personal experience, like what I've been going through lately is like, I've been stressed all day. Like, I've been having anxiety all day. Like, I have crazy anxiety driving, which I usually don't. Like, I put on like some soul music or whatever and just vibe out and just drive.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been like almost certain I'm gonna get into an accident. I've been having crazy road rage, and I'm like, bro, like, this is not you. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when I get home, I'm just laying in bed, and like, I have trouble breathing, and I'm just reliving a million bad things that's happened in my life, thinking about possible scenarios that can happen in the future, and then I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. And to be totally honest with you, man, like, I've always had this problem in the sense that when things start going good for me in my life, I start getting bad anxiety, and like, now that I'm actually kind of talking it out, I feel like I may be onto something. I've always felt like when things are going good, because like things have but I've been through so many obstacles that when I have a streak of good things happening, I'm like, okay, something bad's gonna happen, because this can't be just this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, a lot of things have been kind of like falling into place with the shit that, like, I finally realized the thing that I want, you know, the Amazon thing and all that shit, like, I'm starting to make steps towards finally pulling the trigger on these investments. And I'm like, okay, this is all going pretty smooth. What's coming around that corner? You know what I mean? And I think that's what's bothering me now that I'm like kind of talking about it, but, you know, maybe that's not fully it. And
I think that plays a big part. You know why? Because I think I can relate a lot of my issues that I was dealing with when I had the anxiety, and like you said, it was all day. I wake up, my heart is at 1,000 miles an hour. Like I literally feel like I'm having a heart attack. I'm a walking heart attack. Like my heart is at 1,000. I told you, remember a couple of times. I'm like, bro, I feel my left arm is just numb. It's not a heart attack because if everybody knows me, whoever knows me knows I'm the fucking ER king. Like I'll go to the ER for anything. I don't give a shit. Like you can give me that bill, but you know what I'm gonna tell you? I'm gonna tell you, go ahead and bill me that because I'm not paying that shit. But I'll go to ER for everything. So I've been to the ER multiple times, and they're like, bro, your heart is fine. It's anxiety. You were close to having a panic attack. I don't think I've ever had excuse me, a full panic attack. Because I know I've seen it before. Like my girl has had one, so I know the effects of it. But I think that you not knowing like the future, which is, it sounds stupid. This is the point of talking, though. Like so you can probably maybe click. We try to control so much, right? Even when you're saying something's going good, oh my god, and it's a good feeling. Now you're like, but what if you crap? But the minute you say the but, that's where the anxiety, because now you're trying to think of all these 1,000 different scenarios that are so irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, the thing is that my thoughts are not about the actual situation. Like my thing is, okay, everything's going good. That's not sustainable in my life. That's never been sustainable in my life. In the sense that nothing has ever gone consistently well. It's like, okay, something good happens and then boom, you get hit with some type of reality that's fucked up. You know what I mean? And that's going off of my own personal experience. I'm not saying that this is fucking...
Yeah, like this is not the definition of...
I have a PhD in this bullshit. It's just, that's how my personal experience has always gone, where it's like, okay, oh, something happened, it's great, good, everything doing, boom, someone dies or some shit like that. I would, you know what I mean? God fucking forbid. But it's like, that's what I've been accustomed to. So everything's been kind of going smooth for me. And now I'm just like, I get this fucking itchy feeling, bro. Like you said, like I've been like literally to the point where my hands are shaking.
You be in the gym fucking shaking,
bro. I'm like, what is it? Did I take C4? Like
it's like it's 9 in the morning, bro.
Yeah, like, it's so trash, man. And the thing is, like, I'm very, very disappointed in myself because I have always taken pride in like how mentally strong I am. Yeah. And the fact that it's like, okay, this is whooping my ass right now for 3 weeks. Bro, tighten the fuck up. Yeah. Like, get yourself together. And that's, I've always been very hard on myself. And like, yo, like, get your shit together, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, you have no reason to be bitching. Like, you could be in a wheelchair right now. You can be blind. Like, all this other shit that, like, I tell myself almost every day, which is morbid as fuck, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? And I don't know, dude. Like, it's just how I'm feeling. I'm just very, very on edge. And I don't like that because I don't like to feel where it's like, okay, what is my reaction going to be to something? If someone does something to me or someone says something to me, like I don't want to be on some type of like, I don't know. Yeah. Some type of just quick reaction type shit. I don't want, I don't like that. So I've been better the past couple days. I've been more like a little bit more ease or whatever. So, we'll see how it goes. But I've been just trying to, like at night, listen to like this meditation music and just try and focus on my breathing to just help it. Just try to, I'm not the best at meditating. Obviously repetition is the best thing, but I'll do it for a few days and then stop and then do it for a few days and then stop for a week. And then, so I'm not very consistent with it, but I am trying that. And I don't know, man, I think I might just get back into, reading the books that I've read before that maybe I can see something that I didn't see then, you know what I mean? And maybe it can apply to... Or maybe you'll see something that you saw back then that helped you, and now you might just need a reminder of like, oh, you know what? And this little phrase right here is what got me to the strong mental state that I got to now, before this shit started kicking back in. I'll tell you one thing, I'll comment on it, because again, I'm still on it, like I'm not gonna say on it like I'm on a drug, but I'm still learning how to control my anxiety. One thing from my personal experience that I can tell you is that, for one, and you and I talk about this all the time, deep down inside, there is something that is bothering you, but maybe you just don't know who to discuss it with, right? I've had my share of things, like I told you before, my mom and stuff like that. So it's like, just for one, just try to really sit down whenever you have a couple minutes. I won't even say like an hour, like maybe a couple minutes to just reflect and be like, all right,
I know this is really bothering me, but like, who can I let this out so I can let that shit out of my brain? You know what I mean? Like that little thing. And just go little by little. I think one thing that really helped me was honestly is just gratitude, dude. And we talked about this yesterday before we started talking about this. Like, look at where we come from, right? I think what drives a lot of us minorities when we're younger and all that stuff, we have nothing. So we're like, bro, we can't lose because we're already at the bottom. Yeah. So we're only on our way up. I think what happens a lot to us often, especially here, like you said in the US, is that we get to a point where we start comparing other things, and I know we could do more, we have 24 hours in a day, we could do more, we could do more. But man, just take a second to reflect. Like, look at where you've come. You know what I mean? Like, we're adults, you know, we're very straightforward men, like we're gentlemen, we're all these things that we don't see, that we kind of let it go over us. And we start creating this new, like, I guess not image, but this new thing in our head of just, oh, but we gotta get here. No, take a moment to just be present, right? Gratitude. I wake up, I promise you I'm not religious. Everybody knows that I just believe in God, but I'm not religious, I don't go to church or anything. But I just, at night, I try to literally just be like, thank you. Like, that's it. And I try to put myself at ease, and then while I'm still tackling the other things. So I try to tackle my issues, you know, little by little, step by step. But one thing, which actually this book was recommended by Carl. Carl's like a master at fucking, first of all, off topic, but you know, since we were talking about Carl, I know you're rocking Carl's
Cafe Limitless Minds.
Shout out to Carl, man. That's one of my best friends since I know since I was 7 years old.
The big homie.
Yeah, big homie, man. He's doing his thing, as always. I got the Love Survive. What shirt is this one? Is it like a certain?
No, it's just the LSB, Love Survive shirt.
Right.
Yeah, that's the first one. There's gonna be a new one coming out very soon.
Yeah, it doesn't come with the muscle though.
You know, I don't come with that.
Muscle's so separate. Yeah. But he recommended this book actually because he's very big on mindset, you know, and it's not like a spiritual thing, like a self-help. No, like as we get older, we're gonna have more responsibility. Well, for the people that are ambitious and stuff and want more life, you're gonna have more ambitions and you're gonna have more, you know, challenges that come up. So again, we fall into this like go all the time that sometimes our mind is really like full of shit. So this book, I haven't read it yet, guys, but I'm gonna make a promise on live here that by next recording, by next episode, which
okay, guys, it's Tuesday, 8:38 p.m. Partly cloudy, 75 degrees.
So by when?
By next Tuesday, I'll give you a full recap of the book, and then I'll lend you the book so you can read it. The book is called Declutter Your Mind. So I've only read one chapter. We're not going to talk about how long I have the book. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's called Declutter Your Mind. It just pretty much just shows you how to stop worrying, relieve anxiety, and eliminate negative thinking. A lot of people are going to think that, oh, I'm good. That's always the answer, right? I'm good.
That's my answer for everything.
But that's our natural mechanism. Like, it's just to be
but not entirely. You know what I mean? Like, I always say, like, bro, you're good because all the shit that you've been through, bro, you're gonna allow this shit to fuck you up. You know what I mean? That's like.
But look at the way you're talking yourself, though.
What?
I think you're beating yourself up.
Oh, I do.
But what I'm saying is,
mentally, I like literally Mike Tyson myself like all the time. It's not good. I know that. I'm not saying it's good at all. I'm just saying that is the internal conversation I have. Like, bro, like you're fine. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. But maybe now at the age that we're at the the level of maturity and where we're at in life, it's just maybe one option, one solution could be let's start talking to ourselves differently. So same message, you know, but instead of us being young and be like, yo, stop being a little bitch. Yeah. You know, it's like, yo, like,
that's why.
Come, you know where you're at. You know what you're capable of. Let's hype ourselves up versus beat ourselves down in our own head.
That's true.
Because believe it or not, I'm telling you, growing up, we're always like, yo, stop. I ain't gonna cry, man. I ain't a little bitch. Like, it's always like that because we can do that when you're young. You're just like young and just like hungry. But now, like, there's a lot of things going on. We have a podcast, you have the business, you have this, you have that. Like, we're juggling more than we ever have because it brings back memories from a child. And then that allows me to start reflecting, like, damn, I remember watching this shit on a box TV, you know, like, so that's what allows me to kind of just reset. So, no, there isn't any other book. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to get better at it, I promise. I have it on my vision board. But I do things that made me happy as a kid. I try to bring that onto my adult life.
Real quick, how was the movie?
Mortal Kombat, the last one. So we had this debate on the group chat. So Me personally, I thought the first one was better, but then I watched the first one and I was like, wow, these fight scenes suck. Like, this shit is so old, like the graphics and all that shit. Some valid points that a couple of my boys made. It's Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat. The storyline is gonna be whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, you're there to watch fight scenes. So the fight scenes are pretty dope. Overall, like I said, I'll give it like 4 out of 5 stars, kind of thing. You know, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, it was alright.
So, you know, I was never a reader myself. Like, literally, even in school, like, you give me something to read, I'm most likely gonna find a different way to find out what was in there so I can write my report type shit. Until I read The Alchemist, which is the book that I told you it's been sitting right there for like 4 months now. Give or take. Yeah. So that book, I read the first chapter, and after that I was like, holy shit, like I read that book in like 2 days. And I was like, I couldn't let it go. And I was like, I've never felt like this before.
Yeah.
You know, and what is it? Is it crack in here? So after that, I was just like, maybe this shit isn't that bad. You know, and then ever since then I've enjoyed reading it. I mean, I've read a lot of books, but well, I'm not a fucking genius, but I've read, you know, I've read a lot of books.
But I think it helps, you know, and I remember
that book helped transition my life. Like, no, I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds cliche, like, oh my god, this bottle of water changed my life, like, or whatever. But that book changed me, bro.
And that's what I appreciate about those type of books, because a lot of people would say, you know, like, oh, you know, self-help books are just kind of pointless after a couple.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, like, for one, at our age, you know, like we said before, I follow a lot of millionaires, like Eric Thomas and all these people. And a lot of them, they read books, but it's not like, you know, non-fiction books that they get excited about. It's just like, what's going to keep you driven at this age? You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes all you need is that one chapter out of the self-help book, or just one chapter out of the Miracle Morning book, or a book that people are just talking about their lives to take you to that next level. You know what I mean?
One simple quote that makes you literally just like, something could be right there in front of you, and it's like your entire life, and then you just read this quote, you're like, yo, this has been there the entire fucking time I did. Now I realize what is what, or what I want to do with my life, or what I've been doing wrong, like all these other things. That shit can change with like one sentence, you know what I mean? And I can say that because in the Alchemist, like I've literally recommended that book to every person that's ever asked me, like, yo, what should I read? It's a easy read. It's not nothing crazy. It's not like a fat ass textbook or anything like that. But the one story inside the story, he talks about like him. It's how would I say it? Like he talks about like how everything happens for a reason. And in the book, he's a shepherd, and he's walking down this path. Like he's like on a voyage with his sheep, and his most prized sheep dies. They just drops dead. And then he's just sitting there like, why? Like, why is this happening to me? Why I hate my life? Like type of shit. Like, why do these things happen to me? Which is the mentality that I always had growing up. You know what I mean? Like, because of all the shit that I've seen and been through, it was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I was never like super sad about it, but it was always like, damn, man, like this shit just keeps happening, bro. Like every time, like you said, like I just said, like everything has been good, and then boom, something happens, and I'm like, brings me right back down. I'm like, all right, cool, climbing back up to the top. Boom, right back down. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then in the book, it's like that sheep died because the sheep died, but what it did was it saved him. There was these guys down the road waiting to kill him. So had that sheep not died, he would have kept going down the road, and they would have found him and killed him. So then I started realizing, like, yo, maybe I need to start thinking about this shit different. You know what I mean? Like, okay, my pops wasn't locked up, and all this shit that, you know, I told you recently about something that I've witnessed. I was like, damn, man, maybe this shit is for a reason, you know what I mean? And this is making me who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So once I started thinking like that, and then I started going through the book, I'm like, yo, and then I switched.
And then you start understanding differently. Instead of just reading a book just to read it, now you start adapting to what it's saying and how you change your mindset as you're reading. You're like, what? And it's like kind of like a relief kind of thing, right?
That shit put so many things in my life into perspective that I was like, how have I been living this entire, like, all this time being so fucking, like, not negative, but I was just like, you know, I started getting to a point where had I not read that book and had I not changed my thought, maybe I don't go to college. Maybe I start fucking around in the streets or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? If I graduate college, something else is just gonna happen. You know what I mean? So might as well just fucking not even worry about working my ass off. Like just do some shit that is easy money. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know, but that book I can contribute like the transition of my life 100%.
I think it would be a good idea for you to read it.
Read it
in my time. Hey,
but it's been a while. It's been a while since I read it.
Yeah.
That was my foot.
Oh no, I was like,
yeah, that was like my screech on my foot. But yeah, I might have to just touch base. Maybe just read the highlights.
Yeah.
I highlight a lot.
Like I said, I mean, look, one thing I would say, which I told you yesterday, we're getting older, and that whole I'm not a reader shit, like, it's gonna end with me. Why? Because I saw the quote and it reminded me, which I put on my vision board at the beginning of the year, but I put it so small that I didn't like really pay attention to.
Yeah, you gotta put that shit bold.
I'm gonna reprint it, but it's so factual. Like, again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 34, Will's 31, turning 32 this year. We have different responsibilities, different things going on, a lot more than we've ever had on our plate. But one thing about me is that we're not going back to college. Like, first of all, I never even made it past the first year. Like, I dropped out. You know what I mean? Like, so start doing things, and it's gonna be uncomfortable because you get to a certain point and a certain age where you get comfortable, and that's where anxiety might build because then you want to do other things, but you don't know how to.
Yeah.
So.
Or your subconscious knows, like, yo, like right now, like you could be thinking, like you should be reading, but then you're like, I'm just so used to not reading,
and I don't have to.
And then you're battling, like that's what happens to me. Where I know, like, yo, you should be, don't take a nap or something, like, yo, you should be on your computer working on your brain or some shit like that. And then it's like the two are battling, and then I'm like, why am I stressed out? And then it's like, okay, it's because you're not being as productive as you should be.
I'll leave you with two things. On my end, that hit me actually today. Yesterday and today. So for one, I follow Gary Vee. I know a lot of people follow Gary Vee. I take Gary Vee with a grain of salt because I also feel like a lot of times when you make it, you can say whatever the fuck. Yeah. People be like, oh my God. But like, tell me the things that you were doing when you were broke. Yeah. Like, don't give me advice now that you're rich and you don't got to work for anybody but yourself. But one thing that did hit me today was that he said, sleep is underrated. So like, when you sleep, take your fucking sleep. Enjoy your sleep. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever. But the 12, 13, 14 hours that you are up, just execute.
Yeah, right.
So that stuck to my head today, right? And another thing was, again, the quote. So the quote, for a lot of people that can't see it, obviously, because my vision board is not facing the camera. The quote said something like, a person who doesn't read has no advantage over a person who can't read. It's so fucking small, but so powerful. Like, how can I, at 34 years old, continue to grow, try to grow my wealth, try to grow myself, try to, expand my business? If I don't read, and I'm not teaching my mind anything new, I am not gonna have any advantage over somebody that literally cannot read. Mm-hmm. So that shit to me stuck. I'm like, I gotta stop that shit. So again, you have my commitment. It's on the podcast, episode 13. Before next week, I'll be done with this book, and I'm gonna just start doing it. I don't care if it's something that's, fun or not.
You just start off, bro. Just start 10 pages, man.
Start off, yeah. You know what I'm gonna do, and this is a good approach that I took with the one book that I read in one day, which is called Elevate. Before that, I read like Charlotte's Web.
The Kite Runner. Like, Dr. Seuss was the last book I read.
It was like, I read a book at 33, and then before that was like fucking Charlotte's Web.
It's like, when this shit come out, like early 90s.
But I remember that shit was mad thick. Pause, that shit was mad thick. But, alright, so what I do to make it easier for myself, is just, look, this one has 139 pages. I don't care how many chapters, I don't care about any other shit. So I'll divide the 139 pages by 7 days. So every day I'll read X amount of pages. And if I missed one day for whatever reason, I have to do it.
Let's do the calculations.
Let's do it on live and direct. 130, I'm sorry, wait, this is all the credits and shit.
We'll say 139 divided by 7.
Yeah.
19
pages.
Yeah, 20 pages.
20 pages.
Okay.
So that's a good way, instead of doing it by time, because when you do it by time, you know what happens, you start reading faster.
Yeah.
Or you start reading slower,
yeah.
And you get through 7 pages. And no nothing. So
20 pages a day.
20 pages a day from here to next week. You guys have my commitment, and I'll leave you with that on my end.
Okay. I have one question though.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific experience or occurrence or like any specific person that you think that like where your anxiety started? Like, did you have anxiety as a kid?
No. Not that it poured out of my fucking pores and face like it is now, smacking me in the face.
Oozing out of me.
Yeah, like now it's just fucking oozing out. I know it's sweat, anxiety, like I know it's fucking deodorant. I don't know what it is anymore. Like, but to answer your question, no. I mean, you know, we talked about this plenty of times. I grew up, and after my parents split when I was 12, felt lost for a very long time. Then I had my kids at 18, felt even more lost.
But like, when do you think the anxiety started? Like,
when my kids were born.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you, like, probably just because of responsibility?
Responsibilities. I was 18. I was trying to go to trying to go to the NBA. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do growing up. Mm. You know, growing up, it was like getting home, watching MTV Cribs. I'm gonna get that. Like, I want that. Like, you know, like that's the lifestyle that I wanted. And then, you know, when I had my daughters, it was like the challenge. I had no guidance. You know, the only thing my dad told me was like, "Oh, you gotta go get a job." I was like,
so it's not okay. So that's interesting. It's like, I don't know. I always feel. No, I guess this is my own personal experience. Like a lot of my anxiety starts has always started like with my mom.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for obvious reasons.
You know.
Yeah.
But not only that, like, I know like my anxiety started like as a small child, being afraid that something would happen to her because of just shit that she would say as a kid. Like, you know, she'd leave and be like, okay, like say bye to me or tell me you love me, and I'd be like, no, like I'd be mad or something, and she'd just be like, okay, well you're gonna regret that if I die or some shit like that. And then like as a kid, just having someone say that to you all the time, then you're like, okay, she's gonna leave and she's gonna die.
Yeah.
So I've literally held that since I can even remember talking. You know what I mean? Like, that is my first initial thought of anxiety. Or like that's my first initial memory of anxiety is, okay, well I'm gonna leave and like, I'm gonna die, and you're gonna wish that you said that you love me or that you care about me or that you miss me or something like that. And to this day, I still have anxiety with that. Like, or shit, like if I don't call her or whatever, I'm like, fuck.
I mean, it's hard when you go through something your whole life. It's hard as an adult when you're aware of it to kind of just not let it bother you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you've conditioned your mind for 30 years, or, you know, maybe 20 years, 25 years of that same fucking thought.
Yeah.
So I know that that's where that's where my anxiety started. It stemmed from that at a very, very young age.
Now, how would you feel? How do you think that you're dealing with that now as an adult?
I'm not. Like, it's just like the best way that I've always tried to stop that would be to, like, push away from my mom.
Yeah.
Where I just be like, okay, I can't call her.
Yeah.
Because if I talk to her too much, then my anxiety starts.
Yeah, because you care too much, so it's like,
so
you know, moms love diarrhea mouth. Like, they'll tell you everything, and you just be like, damn, I just called you to say hi. You know, like,
I don't need to know about your neighbor's fucking best friend's daughter's dog dying.
Or like, you know, I mean, I go through the same thing, you know, same thing with my mom. I have to keep my mom at a distance. I love her to death, but I have to keep her at a distance because same thing with my mom. I mean, she's just always been bad with money, and, you know, she drains me as I'm trying to help. Mm-hmm. I start getting drained. Mm-hmm. So that's how I'm dealing with it, though. I keep her at a distance. You know, she only lives like fucking 7 minutes.
See, it's different.
She
lives in a different state. So I know that is my only way, and it's like I've tried to talk about it, but she doesn't understand. Not that she doesn't understand, but she doesn't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, but it is.
Sometimes, and believe it or not, sometimes the solutions doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be dealt with that person.
Yeah.
So
like I just have to, I honestly, like, what I have to get to is just loving her for who she is, you know what I mean? And just kind of like, that is who she is, and just approach her with love at all times, and just be like, cool. But I also need to learn how to deal with that. Like, if I call her and she doesn't answer, I'm not going to initially think that she's dead.
Which is hard because that's the automatic.
You know? But
until you find a way to control that subconscious, like, all right, maybe she just has the fucking phone down and she's in the shop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. But again, it's hard, bro. I know, and I understand your pain because I know that dealing with something for so many years, there is no just, let me just.
Yeah, just like a switch.
Yeah, no, like, that's where it starts. But I feel like there's always a solution to everything. And, you know, we'll come across something that
I'll figure it out.
There you go. No, it's not there you go. They'll say, I'll figure it out. You know why? Because you're just brushing it off.
Yeah.
That's the brush off sit that I'm talking about. It's gotta be something like, alright, yeah, like, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean like we, I just mean like we, you and your mom, you and somebody else, you and a therapist. Like, you have to feel like somebody got your back. Yeah. Whoever it is, maybe we haven't came across them yet, but whoever it is, you have to feel like there is a solution. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, I think that's what's helped me. So take this, you know, because I charge for this shit. I charge for this advice.
Yeah, I'll fucking get your insurance, fuck you.
My insurance.
So yeah, what else do you got for us, man?
Honestly, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, again, it's on my end, anxiety is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. That shit can literally deteriorate you. So take care of your mind, man. Reach out to people. A lot of times we don't want to talk, but you know what? Majority of the things that you...
I'm guilty.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm now starting to tackle little things that are, you know, not bothering me, but certain things I have to address. I have to, because guess what? Yo no me vuelvo loco en la casa mía. Like, I can't drive myself crazy because I have to tell something to somebody, or tell somebody how I feel a certain way, or tell somebody, listen, you're draining me, I need to step away from you. Like, I have to start having diarrhea mouth with people because I need to protect myself. So, just, if you guys are, anybody's dealing with anything, man, like, again, just reach out to anyone. If you guys want to reach out to us, DM us. A lot of you guys know us, follow us, loyal listeners, man. Reach out to somebody, man, because anxiety is a real thing. You're gonna feel like you're having a heart attack. You know, 9 times out of 10 you're not, but you're gonna feel your fucking heart coming out of your chest. You can't sleep. That shit is terrible. Shit, you know, so sick, it literally makes you sick. So that's all I got on my end. I mean, I love everybody, you know, but life and death is a real thing. Life is really short, but death is longer. So just take care of yourself as much as you can, and just know there's always options. It's everything that you're dealing with.
Word. And I'm gonna leave you on this quote that I saw today, and it's anxiety is the energy you have that you don't know what to do with. I have a lot of energy, so I'll take that to account. I hope, you know, that helps somebody. Maybe somebody else is going through it. But yeah, that's episode 13.
Episode 13, guys.
We appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys subscribing. Everything. Got the book there. The Alchemist. The one I spoke about earlier is the Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Very, very dope author. And yeah, man. Thank you guys. Take care.
Tune in next time.
Everybody cut that. Okay.
Cause they thought I'd never make it. See me fall down and they celebrate it. Learn how to win with no demonstration. Pop out the cool, got a ventilated. Cause I can't see shit out on 95. Prolific little bitch, I see dollar signs. The shit I done seen got me traumatized. Tryna clear all the pain in my mama's eyes. And my daughter, she watching me closely. Tryna better myself like I should be. Had to chill out with all of that street shit. I came a long way, but don't push me. Rest in peace to my bro, it ain't right, dawg. 20 bands, nothing that's light sauce. Hit the booth and I turn all the lights off. Gotta get in my zone. Gotta turn on my phone, cause all them smiles is fake and I see it. Bad guy, if I got it, I'll be it. Baptized, but I'm living with demons. Trap vibes, so I'm cashing out Neiman's. No face, swear these bitches is heathens, but I don't need them though. Keep my moves quiet, you don't need to know. My new tools silent. Cause they thought I'd never make it. See me fall down and they celebrate it. Learn how to win with no demonstration. Pop out the cool, got a ventilated. Cause I can't see shit out on 95. Prolific little bitch, I see dollar signs. The shit I done seen got me traumatized. Tryna clear all the pain in my mama's